role does work play in your life?
Mm. This is one of my favorite questions. I ask it to some folks on my podcast, and I think about it a lot personally. And I think we often oversimplify this question, right? There's a popular phrase: you either work to live or you live to work. And yeah, we might fall somewhere on that scale, but I think it's really dismissing all of the deeper, core, complex, nuanced reasons of why we choose to work. Um, you know, that the range of reasons why we work. I mean, fundamentally, yeah, I need to make money. Of course, I need to survive in this life. But for many folks, they're thinking about things like finding a purpose or living out their purpose. For others, it might be around connecting to other people and feeling the joy of connection with other humans. Um, I think some of us really like the idea of leading. We like the idea of inspiring and pushing people to become more of themselves or to accomplish something big. So it just feels like this conversation needs to be more uh, deep and less just kind of like pithy, right? Some people want to be creative. Some people want to prove something, right? Prove something to themselves or prove something to a family member or somebody. Um, some people want to change the world. Others just want to feel useful every day. So I think it's really interesting to just think about this. And I think if we think about this for ourselves, and I've certainly thought about it, it not only helps us figure out like what job should I do and sort of that basic level thing, but I think it can guide our nervous system into figuring out how to manage the way work shows up for ourselves. Meaning, if I know why I work, then I know what I'm sort of willing to deal with, what I'm willing to put up with, what I'm willing to put my energy into. And when I'm having a bad day, I can kind of come back to, am I still doing this for the reasons I want to be doing it? And if the answer is no, well, then it's time to rethink things and figure things out. But if it's yes, well, okay, well, then how do I make this situation better? Because this is where I need to be. So just some thoughts that have been kind of flying around my head, but I think we need to be less sort of flippant with this conversation because otherwise I think we're setting ourselves up for misery at work.
You made very good points. I still believe that definitely it's not a black and white type of question. So
Mm-hmm.
that work to live, live to work, not so simple, my
Yeah.
understanding. And I think there is an evolution taking place. I always see things in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that some of us, me, not so lucky that at early age, just finishing school, I knew my calling and I was so clear
Mm-hmm.
about who I'm becoming and what I want to do in my life. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have even less idea about what I like or not like or what I could do and should do. It was just about, all right, safety and security is tied to money. That was me.
Mm-hmm.
So my decision about work was, all right, where do they pay the most money?
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah. Yeah. You're not alone.
because I've seen lack of funds and lack of money in my family, had some trauma around it. So this was my only possible solution. Yet looking at it from my 51-year-old self,
Mm-hmm.
I see that there has been, in my case, and hopefully it's faster for others, especially if you're listening to this video, uh,
Yeah.
ask the hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
What would make sense? What would you love to be doing or
Yeah.
engaging yourself, indulging yourself into even a playground or fun type of thing that is exciting you, that you would love to do as a contribution and you
Mm-hmm.
get paid for it. I mean,
Right.
that's almost like a lotto winner,
Mm.
a lottery winner. So
Yeah.
in my case, I put so much work into this that eventually 7 or 8 years ago, this was a very slow progress of entrepreneurship that I
Mm-hmm.
have. And I'm happy to share that under the video. Just that
Yeah.
I've mapped out completely what works, what it means to me through
Mm-hmm.
sort of guide process.
Yeah.
I hope that's familiar for a lot of people. And this is I think it's an evolved ikigai where I feel that I'm on a playground each day and I love what I do. And there's a good reason why I'm connecting with you every two,
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks, because I love spending time with you and I love to make videos to create value for other people. And that's my real answer.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't feel right, then obviously we will not be connecting with you forever. And
Yeah.
good,
No,
I'm not
I love that.
attached. So I think there comes a point in people's lives when they really take this seriously and realize, damn, I'm spending 40, 50 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's too much to waste and not have fun. What is your, if someone is in this thinking mode, wearing the thinking hat about work and
Yeah.
its role, what would you tell them to do, to consider now?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it starts with asking some of these questions, right? What would make that 40 to 50 hours feel more connected to who you are or who you want to be, right? And I understand, like, you came out and you said, I want to make money. And like that was a real need at that time. And that was a real motivator. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't want people to feel like I'm judging that. I just think if you get to a place where you can think a little more broadly about what work means to you, ask yourself, like, what have I enjoyed when I'm working already? What do I enjoy in general? And it's not that, like, I'm not saying like if you enjoy painting, go be a painter. Maybe. But it's more like if you enjoy painting, what do you enjoy about it? And dig deep into that and think about what is it that makes you come alive when you're painting? Is it the act of creating it? Is it the coming up with the idea of what you're going to paint? Is it the tactile nature of brush on canvas? Is it being in a solo space alone with your thoughts and your feelings and expressing them? Because once you start to dig deeper underneath all of that, you can go, yeah, I could be a painter, but there's also probably 100 other jobs you could do that could activate the same kind of parts of you. So I think that's a really important piece. And I think, to your point, just simply acknowledging that this takes up, somewhere between a third and a half of our waking life for most of our life. Just ponder that for a little bit. And what am I willing to tolerate with that? Am I willing to just sort of have those hours be something I get through to get to the quote unquote real part of my life? Or am I willing to admit that that is actually part of my real life and it's a significant part of my real life and I have some agency around it? If so, then I think you need to ask yourself these questions. And, you mentioned the idea of, your work, the fact that you get paid for it is like, like a lottery, right? And I had kind of the reverse from a podcast guest this week, which she's like, if anybody gave me $1 billion tomorrow, like I would still do what I do. And she was somebody who goes out there and speaks to people and inspires them. And I thought, well, yeah, that's a pretty good test. And um, so I think we should all just dig into those questions and really it fundamentally it comes down to getting to know ourselves better. And I think many of us just dive into work and suddenly we wake up and we're 30, 40, 50 something like us. And we haven't really paid attention to ourselves and our needs and our wants and our desires. And that's where it starts. Figure out who you are. That will start to give you the answer of what I should be doing with 8, 9, 10, 11 hours of my day.
That's very insightful. And if you did follow TJ's advice, and please do so, then take charge and make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sell yourself short because time ticks away. You lose another 5, 10 years. I've seen so many people
Mm-hmm.
unhappy, unsatisfied with what they're doing because they have these stories about, oh, I have to start from the bottom. I earn half of what I do. Well, respect your life. Respect the time that you have here. And I haven't seen anyone who has been sorry about not making enough money when they had to go.
Yeah.
So be real, because this is a place where you will not take anything from. You will only have experiences.
Yeah.
And then
respect your life.
And the question will be the empty sheets of your next days and years or decades coming. What will you fill up with those days and weeks? And I say you're here to evolve. So repetition of doing something robotic for money is certainly not the best investment of your life, but it's up to you to decide.
Agreed. I love that. I really love that phrase, respect your life. I think that's at the core of it. Yeah.
Thanks very much. And we're looking for any comments and your ideas. Please teach us what you think about it and share your views. Thanks very much.